Okay. So, now what I'd like you to do is look around the room and five beige things. And look back at me after you've seen them. Okay? Okay. Before you tell me what they were, and while you're looking at me, identify 3 blue things that you saw other than the curtain while you were looking around.
Oh, while we were looking.
Look at me. Can't do it, huh? I may not want beige. I may hate beige. But if that's what somebody's asking me to focus on, that's all I'll see. Right? Yeah. So too when we're working with clients, employees, teams, friends, family, talking to ourselves. Over the years, I've worked with many project teams and coaching clients. Until asked to try something else, what they talk about are beige things. The things they don't want. The problems. What terrible things the person did to them. How everything isn't working. Listen for this. Listen for this. It's everywhere. It's in families, it's in friendship groups, it's in teams, it's in therapy, it's in coaching, it's everywhere. But what happens if what I want is blue and I focus on blue? Look around and see blue now. If I focus on blue, I'll see more and more blue. And that's what I want. I remember when I first heard about this way of working, of seeing. There was a description of a case with a very troubled teenager in inner city Detroit. And a counselor was working with this young guy who had been, for his age, in an amazing amount of trouble. The counselor said to him, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a perfect son and 1 being a total loser, where would your mother say you were? And he said, well, she'd say about 2. And the counselor said, fantastic! 2! Wow! What did she see that got you all the way to 2 in her eyes? And the kid was sort of taken aback and said, well, I sometimes help her out by taking care of my younger brother. I really like my younger brother. He's a neat kid. He's really cute. I don't want anything to happen to him. That's great. So you take care of your younger brother. You care what happens to him. Do you hear the difference that makes? I am not asking him, when did you do this? Why did you do this? What happened when you did this? What a loser you are. Do you know where you're going to end up if you don't clean up your act? And if people keep talking to him that way, that's exactly where he's going to end up. So what I'm talking about is a deceptively simple process that is sometimes very hard to do. It's called solution focus. We focus on solutions and resources. So one of the resources that this young guy had was his ability to really care about somebody else. His ability to see how much fun and how cute his younger brother was. Those are huge personal resources that now, as his counselor, we can figure out, how can you take these resources and move to 3? We can't do that if what we look at are all the terrible things he's done and what a loser he is. Change happens more sustainably and more dynamically and more effectively when it rests on strengths rather than on problems. Okay, now here's the really deceptively simple part that this work is based on. Don't fix what isn't broken. Find out what works and do more of it. Stop doing what doesn't work and do something else. Doesn't this sound like hold hands when you're crossing the street? And here are some fundamental assumptions underlying a solution approach. Change is happening all the time. Nothing is static. There are things changing all the time. Our job is to identify and amplify the useful change. What happened that was good? In a project team, what have you done that's gone really well? How did you do that? What resources are there? A detailed understanding of the problem usually doesn't help in finding the solution. Duh. Focusing on the solution helps get to the solution. So we get really specific about what is wanted, what is the ideal, and what resources do we have that will get us there. No problem happens all the time. Even this young kid in Detroit wasn't always bad. No problem happens all the time. So the direct route in identifying what happens when it does not happen, when what is good is happening. And it is important to stay solution focused, not solution forced. We're not forcing something to happen. As I said, for starters, we need to be as clear as possible about what do we want. That's the solution we focus on. Particularly for any of us who like to help, this is really hard. This is really hard because we are not the expert. The other person is the expert. We're not using our carefully developed insight to identify what's really going on here, but rather they're using their observation of what's happening that's working and what is going well. So very quick example for me. I wanted to clean my office. I've wanted to clean my office for the last probably 15 years. And I realized what is going well. And what does go well is if I pick a very little piece of it. And I've done that before. And so I thought, I can do that. I know that I can do that part. And so I thought, I'll get everything off the floor for starters. And I did it. It was really easy. It took me 45 minutes. The focus on what works. I read recently a wonderful thing that said, with this work, there is a reduction in impressive sounding nonsense. Isn't that wonderful? So I invite you to watch things in the world this way. See what's going well. Get other people to see what's going well. Focus on what you want. Help your friends focus on what you want. Don't listen to the moaning. Just stop listening to the moaning and get them to focus on what's going really well, what they do well, where they want to be, how they can get from 2 to 3. Okay, so let's give this a try. So would somebody come up so we can practice a very brief solution-focused coaching session? Fade out.